Góðan daginn, good morning, bonjour, people of various nationalities, welcome once more. We're still here, and I'm very glad to be here, and I'm sure you are as well. My name is Omar, I'm the team media officer. I have here with me the two head coaches of our team, Heimir Hallgrímsson and Lars Lagerback. We will take questions in English and Icelandic. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Questions and answers in Icelandic. I will do my best to summarize for the international media. I'm not a professional translator, so I'll do my best. I hope you have faith in me there. As we've done in all of these press conferences, we start with a special Swede who's with us, who's been with us for the whole time. So the first question of the day, Robert, what do you think of the Iceland chances on Sunday?
I think they're pretty good.
Thank you. Go ahead, Robert, you can have the first question as usual.
Yes, thank you. I have one question for Lars and one for Heimir. I'll start with Lars, age before beauty, I would say. Let's say, I don't know if you noticed, but you're not only extremely popular in Iceland and in the rest of the football world right now, but also in Sweden, where your popularity is huge everywhere. On the streets and in the squares, in the newspapers, among the kids and the social media. Have you noticed this? Do you have your own examples of this popularity, and what does it mean for you?
That was a lot of questions.
Yeah, it was difficult to remember. Age before beauty. I won't comment about your looks, Ron. No, of course I noticed that. I mean, I talk to people back home, and I a little bit go into internet so I can see a little bit what is happening. But of course, it's always nicer to be in a positive atmosphere, of course. But the most important thing is what's happening down here and what we're doing here. So. Just to give you an example, Heimir and I changed a little bit yesterday evening with a team meeting to try to, I don't know, be a little bit the devil's lawyer or something, but it was a lot of things going on, of course, so now we're starting to get everybody down on earth again, so whatever happened outside we have to handle it, but yes, on your question, it's of course very, very positive to be in a positive environment.
Okay, and the question for Heimir, I think it's fair to say that in most of the France games, the France team has had a little bit of problem to score in the beginning of the games, and then they score after a while. Now they are under very big pressure to score against you. How can you emphasize that negative feeling for them and benefit from that feeling? And that's a bonus question.
First of all, I wouldn't recommend swimming to Iceland. Normally I live in an island just south of Iceland, and it's a 3-hour sailing trip to the mainland, and I would not recommend swimming close to Iceland anyway. No, their team is full of technical individuals that can decide games like they have shown, substitute coming in and finish the games, and they have a lot of technical ability, and I think that is why they are scoring in the end of games, because they really are tiring the opponent. So in the end of games they still have the quality to finish it off, and if that's a negative or a positive, I don't know. I think everybody is playing against France with that in mind, that we don't want to concede goals against them, but still they have managed to score. So I don't see that for the French as a negative. I see that as a positive. They keep on going till the end, and they have scored in the end of games, and that's because they have a lot of ball possession. They are playing the opponent. Yeah, they tire the opponent. So in the end of games, they score the vital goals. So that's something that we have to have in mind, that we have to keep really focused and concentrate the whole game, not only 90 minutes, it's 94, 5, 6 minutes against the French.
Yes?
Patrick from Swedish TV, question for Lars and Heimir. Lars, first of all, you were actually working with Sweden in '94 when you were starting in Brazil, and I believe you this pretty much the same feeling that a national team is doing something that nobody thought they could do?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. My experience, I spend rather much time with the team, of course, but I was traveling a lot all the time all over US. But also as you know, the information you got, as I remember it in US, I don't think anyone understand how big it was in Sweden, because you didn't have internet and things like that, and I don't think we had more than a couple of mobile phones at that time inside the squad. But in afterhand, when you came back to Sweden, you could definitely, I think, compare it with how it was in Sweden then and how it is in Iceland now. And I also feel a little bit, as I can remember, it's a long time ago, but a little bit the same atmosphere inside our squad as it was in Sweden's squad that time.
And the question for Heimir, what has Lars meant for you as a coach, and what has he taught you, if anything?
Make it short, please.
No, you have to realize that Iceland is a country where there's only amateur football, and the coaches who are coaching there are amateur coaches. So to have a guy coming to Iceland with all his international experience, I think he was 12 when he started to coach in international football, or 13, I don't know. But he's been all his life working on this level, and to have a guy like that come in to teach us how to do things is priceless. And he's leaving that legacy, and he's leaving all that knowledge in the hands of the Icelandic FA. So I'm not the only one who is benefiting from it. The whole of FA is benefiting from all his lifetime experience in international football, and that's not many in the world that has this experience. So probably we don't realize how much he leaves in the hands of the Icelandic Federation. Sorry about that. I know you don't like compliments, but it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless for us.
Yes, second row from back, yeah.
Okay, I set up for my newspaper. I would like to know what do you think, this two questions for both. What do you think when the people say that the Iceland national team is like Leicester City, the Premier League club? Because in Spain speak a lot. And it's not normal to see two coaches in the national team. How is your way of working? Thank you.
Normally I do all the talking, like you see. No. I really would like things to end like it ended with Leicester City. If you want us to talk about them, I think they played on their strengths, and we are trying to do the same. We're trying to play our strengths in the national team. And it's nothing. I think there's the same team spirit in both teams, our team and Leicester City. So we are willing to work for each other, and that's the only way for a team with maybe players with less individual qualities. Like if you compare Iceland against the French team, they have players almost in every position playing Champions League games day in and day out. And there's not many in the Icelandic national team that's playing Champions League. So you can see that in the individual qualities that they are superior in that area. So we have to be collective and work together to make up for that. What was the second one?
It's not normal to see two coaches in the national team. How is your way of working?
We use the Swedish way. We talk until we agree.
Or you can say we are a little bit abnormal in Iceland. We go our own way. Now, to be quite serious, I mean, I think this is also overestimated. It's always a team behind the team, so to speak. I mean, we work almost exactly the same, Heimir and I, as I did with Tommy and Roland in Sweden. It doesn't matter. It's a formality if you call yourself head coach or assistant coach, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's not much anyway have changed since we did it like this. And I think it was really a good way for KSI to do it, that Heimir wants to go on and I will stop, that we did that arrangements like this. But for me it's just a formality.
Very good.
Hvernig hefur þér persónulega gengið að takast á við þessa miklu atriði sem að Ísland er
það svo tannlæknir frétt efni allan heim. Finnst einhvern veginn verið að gera lítið og mjög verði í þessu þjálfara að verðskóleir þannig og hvað finnst það með þess að á þér?
Nei, ég hef ekkert verið mikið að skoða fjölmiðla eða hvað að koma það, en það bara mikið að gera hjá okkur og ég held að sé svo mikilvægt fyrir okkur, ekki bara okkur Lars og heldur bara allt staffið og alla leikmenn að vera ekki að velta sér upp við hvað allir aðrir að segja. Það myndi æra óstöðuðan að vera að skoða allt það sem skrifað. Þannig að ég voða lítið verið að velta mér upp úr þessu. Okkar hlutverk að einbeita okkur núna að því hvernig við getum unnið Frakkland. Kannski þegar ég verð eldri þá fer ég að skoða hvað var skrifað og ég hef bara engar áhyggjur af því. Núið er það sem skiptir máli. Það er það sem þú gerir í núinu. Það er rauninni ræðu því hvert þú ferð í framtíðinni og hvað gerist í framtíðinni. Þannig að við verðum að vinna vel í núinu til þess að við náum allavega einhverju á móti liðum eins og Frakklandi og því meira og betur sem við vinnum í núinu, því meiri líkur á því að við gerum eitthvað á móti Frakklandi. Þannig að það gildir það saman með mig eins og alla aðra og eins og leikmennina líka að það sem aðrir skrifa það hjálpa þér ekki neitt. Þú hjálpa þér bara sjálfur í því sem þú ert að gera.
Okay, first summary of the day. So wish me luck, huh?
Good luck.
Question was to Heimir, how have you dealt with the pressure, basically? Pressure in media and other. Well, I haven't read much media. I've been keeping busy. It's important not to read everything and to soak everything up in the media. We are just focusing on how to beat France. It's what's happening now is what matters. What we do now determines the future.
Good summary.
Thank you. Moving on. Lost track a bit there. Haukur.
Couple of questions for both coaches. We'll start with you, Lars. The yellow cards have distributed almost phenomenally well for our team. There were 7 starting players who had caution on the back before the England game, and then 2 midfielders that quite incredibly had not gotten a yellow card before the other ones. How important is that? And is it a coincidence or just smart play?
Of course it's a part of our plan. We told the 2 guys that they were the only one who could take a yellow card. Now it's been a little bit too many yellow cards. That's something that we always talk about also, but I think some of them maybe was a little bit unfair, but I can understand it also. So of course we have been, I don't like to talk about luck, I can talk about margins, but in this case I would say it's a little bit luck to have almost all the starting 11 on yellow cards. So that was definitely a coincidence.
Ég held að það sé ekki hægt að lýsa því hversu bara mikið og hversu gott starfið er á bakvið liðið. Bara fyrsta lagi bara vinnusemi þeirra sem er í kringum okkur. Við erum með mun minna starfslið heldur en flestar þjóðir hérna, en það sem að staffið er að gera er ótrúlegt og strákarnir finna það og kunna meta það og sína mikla virðingu öllum þeim sem er að aðstoða okkur. Það er bara ómetanlegt og þetta að við séum ekki með meiðsli, við getum stilt upp sama liði, það lýsir því í rauninni hversu vel er hugsað strákana og það er ekki bara sjúkraliðið, það eru bara allir þeir sem er í kringum okkur og já, bara það er í rauninni ekki þetta að lýsa því hversu mikilvægt þetta fólk er á svona stundu eins og akkurat núna og menn eins og Ómar sem að fá allar þessar fyrirspurnir, það fer allur sólarhringurinn í að lesa bara þá sem að vilja koma og eiga viðtal við strákana, þannig að þetta er mjög mikið álag á öllu starffólkinu og það hefur staðið sig alveg ótrúlega og ég segi, það er ekki hægt að hrósa því nógu mikið, það er bara ekki til orðið yfir það hvað er að vinna vel og bara allt starffólk KSÍ í öllu þessu miðavesinu og því öllu hversu mikið álag er á þessu fólki, það er, ég hugsa að þessu fáið sem að skilja það. Translate that. And while he is writing down, there was also about the yellow cards in Iceland in amateur football. If somebody had 3 yellow cards, we just swap shirts. Nobody knew anyone anyway, so.
No, we didn't.
I was a joke.
Right, first job is to understand my handwriting there. Just asked about, we've had the starting lineup in same starting lineup in all the matches. We have no suspension, even though we had 9 yellow cards. Yeah. Just about, the starting 11 all had a yellow card, but unbelievably none of them were suspended in the end. Fitness was also a question. How do we keep them all fit? And Heimir said, well, we can't describe how good our staff is. The work ethic is second to none. And the staff are doing a great job, media officer especially. Because of the great work put in by the physios, we owe a lot to them, to the fact that we have no serious injuries yet. So it's hard to fully describe how appreciative we are of the hard work put in by the staff, and not enough words can say how good a job they are doing. Thank you, Heimir. That's great. Yes.
Claudio from German newspapers, Deutsche Zeitung. Heimir, people are talking a lot of miracle now, about a wonder, things like that. But even there was big planning behind the story. Could you maybe talk a little bit about how it all begins? Who took the decision to send all the coaches to abroad to make their license, to pay for that? Was it easier to fund for that in the economical good period in Iceland? Is it difficult now, or maybe talking about that? And the second question. I read that you're still working as a dentist. What's happening with your doctor's office at the moment?
Yeah, finish up on the dentistry. I have a dentist working at the office at my clinic. So I just answered that question. I know it's kind of strange in the world of football that there's a dentist is a coach, but like I said before, we come from an amateur country, and the coaches there, they normally have 2 jobs, and luckily I have an education and a good job, so I could do both, be coaching and working as a dentist. So I just answered that question. I'm a little bit tired of that question. Regarding Icelandic football, it was the FA, of course, that put on the license system that every coach had to have a license if you want to play in the league. So that was a decision from the FA to increase the coaching education, and we don't send coaches abroad for the license. It's only the pro license that we have to go abroad to get. Otherwise, we do it in Iceland. And it's both the facilities that has improved a lot from 2002, and the qualifications of the coaches has improved a lot. But it doesn't mean that even though you have many licensed coaches that they are really good. But I don't think it's like that in Iceland. I think we have really good coaches, especially youth coaches. And if you take a child. If you go with your child, which is maybe 10-year-old, it's about 90% chance that the coach that will coach the kid has a UEFA B or a UEFA A license, and I think that is unique in the world. And I think there we are among the best in the world in the youth and the kids coaching. But when it comes to 16, 17, 18-year-old, of course it's better to be in a professional environment, in academies abroad. And that is where we need to improve in the future. And now the spotlight is on Iceland, and so we have to be clever when the spotlight is on, to think and realize how good we are doing, but we still need to improve a lot of things, and that is the benefit of having the spotlight on us. Sorry it took long. Okay, answer that.
Þú sagði fyrir Englandsleikinn að sigur í honum myndi breyta íslensku fótbolta fyrir framtíðar. eru þessi áhrif að ykkur við farin áfram? Hver verða þau? Hvað myndir að sigur nokkuð framlega að gera fyrir Íslanda?
Ég sagði að sigur á Englandi myndi breyta lífi leikmanna og okkar allra og ég held bara athygllin hefur breyst og eins og ég hef alltaf sagt, þessi keppni hún gengishækkar íslenskan fótbolta og ekki bara þessa leikmenn, ekki bara okkar leikmenn sem að spila hér, heldur bara alla íslenska knattspyrnumenn og allan íslenskan fótbolta. Þetta á að vera hagur fyrir félögin heima, þetta á að vera hagur fyrir alla þjálfara, þetta á að vera hagur fyrir alla íslenska leikmenn sem að hækka í rauninni gengishækka. Þannig að það er það fyrsta og svo að vinna England verður alltaf í huga fólks. Þeir sem spiluðu þann leik, þeir verða hetjur í huga fólks það sem eftir er. Þannig að þegar þessi menn koma á Íslandi þá held ég að þeir þurfa ekki að kaupa bjóra á barnum. Það eru margir hlutir en þetta er aðalega athygli, menn eru settir á hærra stall og núna er ráin mun hærri. Það sem að við ætlumst til af íslenska landsliðinu, það er bara miklu meira heldur en það var fyrir 2 árum. Þannig að það hefur allt breyst. Nú verðum við bara að halda hærri standard heldur en áður. Svona í stuttumáli, þetta er svona nokkur atriði.
Bear with me. So the question was to Heimir ahead of the England game. You said that a win would change the lives of us all, the reality of Icelandic football. And Heimir replied that, well, the focus on us is a lot higher, the attention on us is a lot stronger, so it already has changed. Good results in this competition have, and including the one against England, are increasing the value of Icelandic football and everyone connected to it in general. People will all remember the win against England and our results in this competition. We have raised the standard of Icelandic football and we will maintain that standard and keep pushing forward. Jokes don't always translate. So. Right. Grégoire.
Hi, Heimir and Lars. One question for each. First, Lars, I know that you like to emphasize 1 or 2 main ideas in the mental preparations for a game. What ideas do you plan to use this week before the France game, and are they similar to the ones that you used to prepare the game against England? And for Heimir, before the game, resisting on some English friends asked you about the Cold War with Iceland. Do you know about the Viking invasion of Paris in the 18th century? Because I have seen some of your compatriots talking about that on Twitter.
Yeah, it's definitely similar. I mean, we are working with a lot of guidelines that we have done since Heimir and I started, and as I said, we were a little bit of the devil's lawyer, if I call it that. I mean, I think what have the privilege to lead a team is about putting a standard, both on the pitch and off the pitch, how we are working and living. And as we did yesterday evening, as everybody of course was very happy, just to give you a detail, it was a little bit sloppy when it comes to standard yesterday. It was a few of the guys that was late to dinner. And that's not a big thing. Normally we don't care if it's not a very, very long time. I mean, we are pretty flexible. But that was one of the details we brought up at the meeting, that don't think you are over the hill just because you beat the English. We keep the standard. We are 100% professionals. So we try to build that in everything we do on the pitch, off the pitch. And I think the best thing to challenge a football player is to question him if he's not 100% professional. So to give you a more general answer, but then you try to work with that. So Heimir and I have created a lot of guidelines that we show them in different team meetings and things like that, just to always remind them we are here, we are 100% professional, we are not being sloppy in any way, we are always 100%.
Robert, the other Robert from Sweden.
No, the Cold War, it was a silly question, and I think we had some silly answers to it. I have to be honest, I don't know anything about the Viking invasion in Paris. couldn't have been a lot of people going in those days to Paris. So
They probably come along the sand.
Yeah, they did.
okay.
But we come with a airplane.
Let's have a history explanation a little bit later. But I have to be honest, I don't know anything about it.
Or maybe they were Swedish. So. Robert.
Going back to 94, Lars, we didn't go all the way with Sweden. What lessons do you think Iceland can learn from that tournament for Sweden?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as Heimir said, you get experience for everything you are taking part of. But I don't know if I can point out anything special from that. I mean, it's probably, if you give me time to think, there could be probably things to do there. I mean, Tommy and Tord had some injury problems, I remember, and how to handle that. You learn from that, and that's one thing. How long should you wait if a player is injured? How 100% sure should you be, and things like that. I mean, it's a lot of things you always learn on all the way, I think, when it comes to it. But I also think that what Sweden did well in '94 was the logistics. It was really well planned, organized, partly also because US did very well in that part of the. But that's definitely one thing I learned also '92 when the planning was in the Euro for Sweden when I was scouting for them. So you always take things on.
Yes.
Clarifying AP, a lot of the media attention has been post-England results has been on the failure of England. Do you think that does a disservice to Iceland's achievements?
If I should answer, I think it's rather typical if you go to the media side of it, and of course, especially, I guess I haven't seen so much from the England side, but I mean, this is a very difficult question to answer in football. Why is one team performing and the other not? I mean, normally it's a combination that one team is really good and the other team is maybe not that good. But what is the biggest part we can discuss forever. But I mean, we've shown in the matches, I think, that we have a really good organization. We are very difficult to break down. So if that is a thing that say that England played badly, I don't think so. I think the players with our team deserves a lot of credit for the way they are handling the games. But I don't care. I mean, I know what our analysis is from the game, and we know what we did well, and we know what we can improve.
Yeah, the pressure was always so much more on England. This was a game for them to lose. I think that has a big effect. It was they kind of mocked us a little bit before the game, but this was a game for us that we almost couldn't lose. We've already won our supporters over with good performance. Only a good performance in that game would have left us as winners and the players as winners. So I think that was a big. When you can go into a game like that, you've shown what you can do. You can go relaxed. You can show your best. And that's again against France. That's exactly the same. We can go relaxed. We can show the best we can do. We don't have the pressure of the world that we need to win the game. Of course, we're going for the win, but we don't need to win the game. The world is not going crazy if we don't win France. So that's a big benefit to us. And that was a big pressure on the English. You can see that we see these players play day in and day out. And they normally perform better than they did against us. But like Lars said, it's maybe something was because of us, and something was mentally not right in their mind.
All right, we'll take 4 more questions already are ordered, okay? So, Robert Laul.
Well, Lars. Heimir, I must correct myself. That was not a French journalist who should swim. It was Olympic swimmer, Yannick Agnel, and he would not swim through Iceland, he would swim around Iceland. You would still recommend him not to swim.
No, I wouldn't recommend it, but that is possible. But you have to pick the weather to do it, though.
Well, you've raised the standard there.
Yes. You talked about players who were late for dinner, and you have a similar but more serious situation in Sweden a couple of years ago. You remember you made a tough decision there. How did that strengthen your leadership when you had to send a couple of players over?
I really don't know if that strengthened my leadership in any way. I mean, you end up. Fortunately, it's only happened once that I had to take such a decision. But I mean, probably I learned from it in some way. I mean, I really don't know. But I mean, you just hope that you don't end up in that situation once more. I mean, that's the reason also why we are working mostly with guidelines, because if someone is not behaving professional, we can give them a chance. But if it's a rule, I think, do you have rules and someone is breaking them, you have to take, there must be some consequences for it. But luckily I only had that once experience, so I hope I don't need to have it once more. Sorry?
Please raise your hands.
That's not a rule, but they should always be in time. But I mean, we don't use that as a rule. I mean, that's part of behaving 100% professional. If Einar standing out and we have a dinner outside yesterday making the food and they got in 20 minutes late, I think it is disrespect against him.
It's also important to respect the rules of the room. Thank you. Yes.
I have one question for Lars. Your old colleague Egil Bill Olsen says you should be the next England coach. Do you agree on his opinion?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have to realize, and I do it every time I look myself in the mirror, so it's probably time to relax a little bit, and hopefully I can stay somewhat in football, but I don't think I will go into a new job. And even if it's kind of Drillo, and as you know, I respect him a lot, but I don't think I'm in the picture even, so it was probably a really long shot from Drillo, but send him my best, and thanks a lot for that.
At the back.
Hello, I'm Martin Boston from Wiki 21 French TV. You have a outsider statue. Is it the kind of situation that you like? I mean, maybe it's the best way to win against France, to play with the pressure. What do you think about that?
You take it.
I didn't understand it. What did you mean? What did you
We're
say?
outsider. We're an underdog.
Yeah, okay.
Is that a good thing against France?
Yeah. No, I think Heimir already answered that question. I mean, when you're playing now, when we're working with our team, I mean, no one has expected this, and I think what maybe is the most difficult to handle is expectations. So I don't mind being an underdog. I mean, as long as we in the group, the players and the staff, believe in ourselves, I think it's, like Heimir said, it's always a benefit to be underdog. And I think Heimir put it really good that France, of course, have really high expectations like they have in England, that if you can't beat Iceland, then it's not good, to put it very kindly.
Yes.
Two questions for Lars. First of all, you've used pretty much the same starting players in the tournament. It's a lot of matches, tough matches for you, and in a few days, how would you make sure that they would be physically fit for the French match, and what do you do to make sure? And Annecy, I believe the communication in the team is mostly in English, so that you and Laura Anderson can understand. The English, by the way, from the players and the coach is more or less fluent in English. How much Icelandic can you get?
The last question was easy. I understand very little. I of course learned a lot of words, but when they start speaking like this, I'm totally out in the dark. So that's a negative part of my job, that I miss the informal talk a lot. And now I forgot your first question. Yeah. Now, I mean, normally when you have, you need at least 3 days. You know, if the players are fit and they are reloading and we balance the physical load on them in training, that shouldn't be any problems. But of course you have to be very careful. I think you have always a big risk. This is something I learned through the years, to not be over ambitious, so you don't push them too hard in training. But the combination between mental reloading and physical reloading should be okay in 3 days. So I think we had I had a lot of respect to just mention that for Portugal, who they could handle only 2 days rest and also play extra time. But we don't need to measure it, because if you look at the program now, we even had 1 day extra, or even 2 days extra from 3 days. So we could give them free today. So yesterday we just reloaded for the players who started. We trained rather tough with the players that didn't start it, and then they have to eat and drink and relax. And today they can do whatever they want, and then it's business like normal when we come to the day tomorrow. But we don't do any tests or anything. The only thing we do is they step up and see how much pounds they lost or win, so we know if they are changing anything in the body. Otherwise we don't do any tests or anything.
Can I add to, because I'm promoting Icelandic football also, I think that's one of the attributes of the Icelandic football player is how adjustable they are. And if you talk about, I think Lars can talk Swedish to most of the players in the squad. I think more or less every one of them went through Sweden or Norway or Denmark to wherever they are today. So language is one of the things that I think an Icelandic player has in his bag as an attribute. And you can see among the players who are playing everywhere, they speak the language fluently, even though they play in France or in Spain or wherever. They learn rather quickly, and they are adjustable. If it's the weather or the mentality or whatever it is, I think that's very much one of the attributes of the Icelandic football player. He can play wherever on the pitch you tell him to play, and that's why more or less they are often the captain of their clubs, promoting Iceland.
Well done. So we'll end with 2 short questions in Icelandic from you guys, Eiríkur and Tom.
Ennska pressan og ennski starfsbyrjingar alltaf bara taka Rauð Vatnsson og hans starfsbyrjum líður til bara illa uppsettan leik og við bara rannskuðu áflota gegn varnarleiknum ykkar og svo sjálfur og þeim að liðið svo leikmennir ennska liðsins bara vissi mjög hvað þetta að gera, sérstaklega að koma inn í seinna leikin og þeir fannst og sögðu bara að þeim leiðis að vera búinir að tapa þessu upplifið þú hversu góðleikinn var áflota og þeir væri bara svona átkómsan eins og
Nei, við erum að sjálfsög ekkert að hugsa hvað hann er að hugsa meðan leik stendur. Auðvitað erum við að hugsa hvernig leikurinn er að spilast og hvað við getum gert, og ég get kannski tekið undir það hjá þér að því þú ert að kvóta í leikmennina að í þessum leik þá leið okkur mun betur heldur en í leiknum á móti Austurríki, þannig að Austurríki var að challengeur okkur miklu meira, voru að koma sér miklu oftar inn í tegin, og ég held að við höfum lært af þeim leik. Við náðum að færa í rauninni bardagan svolítið utar, þannig að við vorum ekki alltaf að berjast við þá inn í tegnum okkar, og með við það hvað voru margir framherjar í liðinu hjá þeim, þá var það mjög klókt, því að þeir vilja vera þar, þeir vilja vera að vinna boltan inn í teg og refsa liðum. Þannig að við sögðum það líka, það er bara svo óprofessional að vera að ræða einhverja aðra. Við reynum bara að einbeita okkur og það er bara meira en nóg verkefni að hugsa okkur hvað við getum gert betur. En í þessu samhengi þá held ég að við höfum lært Austurríkisleiknum og gert betur í Englandsleiknum, og við ætlum að gera ennþá betur á móti Frökkum. Var þetta í lagi? Svaraði þetta? Það er ekkert headline í þessu.
Headline means something totally different in Icelandic. Yeah. So asked on criticism towards Roy Hodgson in the English press for his tactics. What are your thoughts on that? Well, not really thinking about that. We felt good in the game, and coach said he thinks our tactics were spot on. We learned from the Austria match and made improvement, and were successful in our tactical setup against England. Eiki.
Það stöðu leikmanna, hverjir eru þættir einhverjir, tónleiknarsæti sem þú út af báðanskiptingum, og svo við verðum að fá að spyrja það kemur myndband að veitna ekki og Lars eru að vakna seinna hálftíma. Þið hlægir bara nánast öll saman, getur við víst hvernig tilfinning ykkar var eftir seinna hálftíma og
Nei, þetta hafi ekki verið bara léttir. Eins og við sögðum þá var sennilega það versta sem gerst í þessum leik var að fá á sig mark strax í upphafi. Leikplanin var auðvitað að fá ekki á sig mark. Þannig að geta svarað í strax var sálfræðilega rosalega mikilvægt. Ég held að allir séð það að það fór okkur þegar við fengum á okkur mark í byrjun, en það fór miklu meira englendingana þegar við skoruðum 1-1 og í talunum 2-1, þannig að ég held að þetta hafi nú bara verið svona léttir og bara einhvern veginn það er svo margt búið að ganga upp. Fast leikatriði og við skorum bara það mark sem við vorum að tala um, ég veit ekki hvort mark ég hafa. Þetta var bara gaman. Það var mikið eftir að leiknum og þetta var gaman á mómentinu. Það var ekkert sérstakt á bak við það. Fyrsta spurningin var bara... No. The second question was about the fitness. Oma doesn't need to translate, so I take it in English. Everybody is fit. Everybody is really happy. Coleman just wanted to come off. He was tired, so that we were going to change a striker, so he wanted to be the one who came off. And for us, it didn't matter that much at this stage. They were both doing a hell of a job, so that was the reason. He was not injured or anything when he won. He was just tired, and it was clever of him.
Okay. Thanks for today. You have the media schedule on our website. See you next time. Thanks for today.